What is uniformitarianism? It's the doctrine or principle or dogma of geology that says that we explain all the rocks and fossils by present processes we observe going on today, extended out millions of years. That's the major assumption of geology, and it was set in stone by Hutton and Lyell from about 1750 to 1850, at a time when they knew very little about geology, I might add. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because it is such a major assumption. It guides all observations of the rocks and fossils within this paradigm. And this paradigm of slow processes, uniform processes over millions of years, totally eliminates Noah's flood, a global catastrophe, to explain the rocks and fossils. This catastrophe was assumed by the culture up until about 1800. Then uniformitarianism took over because of the pressure of the so-called Enlightenment. Now, the Enlightenment was a time of rebellion against ecclesiastical authorities, and they had sometimes good reasons for this, but they threw out the Bible. They threw out the baby with the bathwater, eliminating Noah's flood. Eventually, the creation was eliminated when Charles Darwin's Origin of Species, supposedly using natural selection to show evolution, supposedly eliminated creation. So uniformitarianism eliminates these things. However, when I assume uniformitarianism, look at the rocks, the fossils, and the surface features of the earth called landforms, I find that uniformitarianism is often a poor way of explaining them. For instance, we find rock formations that go 1,000 miles. What sort of uniformitarian or present process explain this? Like a sandstone layer 300 feet thick that you trace for 1,000, sometimes 3,000 or 4,000 miles across North America. It's called the Tapete sandstone, found on the bottom of the Grand Canyon on the granite and metamorphic rocks of the upper crust. What present processes are going to explain this? And many other rocks just defy uniformitarianism. Moreover, a lot of features on the surface of the earth we call landforms can't be explained by uniformitarianism. So it's a very poor concept. Therefore, we've decided, us who believe in flood geology, to bring back Noah's flood into history and reinterpret the observations of geology, throwing out the interpretations, which is by uniformitarianism, taking the observations and fitting them into Noah's flood. And we're finding out with more and more research over the last 60 years that we can explain a lot of features of the geology of the earth.